You got it.
All right, we're ready to go. Go ahead with your questions, everyone.
Hey, Joe, as you guys get ready for this next game, obviously a big game, are you pleased with the pace of progress this team has made over the last 3 years? Obviously, you weren't here the first year, but the last 2 years. Seems like you guys are moving in the right direction, but pace-wise, are you happy with that?
Yeah, for sure. We're right where we want to be. We have a chance to win the division and make the playoffs. Can't ask for a better situation than that.
Thank you.
Joe, do you notice the energy in the locker room? And it's obviously just a walkthrough so far, but have you noticed the energy with what this week means and how everybody's kind of attacking it early on?
Yeah, everyone's ready to go. We're going to have a good week of practice. We're going to have a good plan. I'm excited to get out and execute the plays today in practice and iron out some details. So we'll be ready to go for Sunday.
Joe, has the pinky made any progression in its recovery over the last few weeks? Like, how much of that has still kind of been nagging you over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's something that I'm still having to deal with, but it's getting better. It's improving, and at this point, it is what it is. It's just something I have to play through, and hasn't affected me too much.
Have they told you if that'll require surgery in the offseason to fix, or is it something that'll just heal on its own?
That's probably a decision for after the season that we'll have to make. We'll see.
Joe, with all the injuries that the Ravens have had in the secondary in particular, I guess, has that changed their style of play at all, or are they still the same aggressive defense, or are they playing more coverage, or what have you noticed, if anything?
They've played a little more zone the last couple games. But, we know Baltimore. We know that at heart they're a pressure team that likes to play man-to-man coverage. So I think, that's what we're expecting going in, and then we'll adjust on the fly to whatever we see.
Joe, what is the biggest difference you notice in your offense, in your game, when you're playing from ahead?
Slows down the front up, or the defensive front. Every team has great pass rushers, and if you have to throw the ball the entire game and you're down by 14 to 20 points, they're just going to tee off. It's like a 2-minute drill for them every snap. So it just allows us to really open our playbook and keep defenses honest.
Is that any different in the first half than it is the second half?
Every situation is different in every game, so it's tough to say.
Joe, at this stage of the season, and I know you're pretty dialed in and focused each and every week, but does it reach another level given what's on the line?
I don't think so. I think, the best teams and players treat every week the same. You can't go through this roller coaster of preparation and emotions through the entire season. You got to stay even keeled if you want a chance to be successful. It's a long season, and you'll get exhausted if you're not the same way every week.
This is likely the first of a lot of big December matchups between you and the Ravens and between you and Lamar Jackson. Do you ever think about the big picture and what's at stake for you and your career and the quarterback matchup and all that narrative?
No, not too much. It's us against Baltimore for first place in the division. So it's an exciting game. This is exactly, why you play the game. Big games in December against great players and great teams. So, you couldn't ask for a better game on Sunday.
Kind of staying on that subject, a lot of times it seems like quarterbacks' legacies are graded off of their play in the playoffs, how many playoff games they win, how many rings. I know you're only focused on this game, and you're a team guy, but how do you judge success for you? Do you think about that at all in terms of like what you want your legacy to be? And on just like a game by game basis, what are some of the things that you look at to judge your success from that game?
First off, whether we win or lose the game. And then secondly, how my coaches and my teammates think I played. I always have my opinion on how I played. And then, whether we talk about it in the meeting room if my coaches think I played well, and we always talk about things that I can get better at, because you can get better whether you play a near perfect game or not. There's always somewhere where you can improve. But at the end of the day, quarterbacks are their play is determined on how they play in the big games. And the big games happen in December and in the playoffs.
Do you feel like you're playing your best ball of the season right now and over the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I'm comfortable back there. I think I'm finally getting back to where I was pre-injury as far as my movement in the pocket and being able to extend the play. I've been able to do that a couple times these last few games that I felt really comfortable in. I'm not even really thinking about it anymore, which is exciting for me because I wasn't really making those plays at the beginning of the year. So I'm finally getting back to myself, and I think that's just going to open up even more for us.
There was a scene, I think it might have been like an NFL film thing that caught you on the first Baltimore game on the sideline saying, man, if we can win this division, we could win the whole thing. And was that game a realization moment for you about maybe what this team could possibly accomplish this year?
Yeah, I think it was around then when we realized, how good we could be. Obviously, we've had some ups and downs throughout the year, and that's going to happen in the NFL. But when we play Baltimore, everyone knows what Baltimore can do to teams, and the way we went out and beat them last time, I think we all realized what we could be, and so that was exciting for us to get that win, and then you put that behind us, and now we're here with everything on the line in this game.
Joe, with Christmas approaching, a lot of times quarterbacks love to say thank you to their linemen. Have you kind of done that or thinking about what you might want to do?
Yeah, I got something good for them. I think they'll be excited.
Hey, Joe, how do you think you guys
No
have – oh, I'm sorry.
No hit.
Thank you.
Joe, do you give that to them before the game against the Ravens? Obviously, Christmas is Saturday.
I'll give it to them when they get here, when it gets here. So I think that should be later in the week. I think they'll be excited.
Joe, how do you think you guys are different from October 24th in Baltimore to now? How do you think you guys are different, maybe mentally than you were then?
It's tough to say. It's a long season. We're still a healthy team, which not a lot of people can say at this point of the season. We've been lucky as far as injuries and COVID, and we're doing a great job with our COVID protocols. Fortunately, there's not a ton to do in Cincinnati, so it's not, nobody's going out to clubs and bars and getting COVID every weekend. But we've been healthy, and I think we're the same team we are back then. We've just had more reps under our belt, and they're a better football team and understand the details better.
Do you think you're more well-rounded offensively? You've had to win since October 24th. You've had to do a lot of different things against a lot of different teams. Do you think you're more well-rounded? You're just not that 11 team that wins it,
Yeah, I think, we were running the ball at the beginning of the year too. I think, that's what's fun about playing on this team is we can win a lot of different ways. It's not a shootout every week. Sometimes you can win 15-10. Sometimes you got to go out and win 31-28. It just depends on the game. And, I think that's what's fun about playing with our guys is we can go out there and do it a bunch of different ways.
2 minutes.
Zach said there was a throw I think he made for like 6 yards last year. That's one of his favorites that annoys you every time he brings it up. Which throw is that, and why do you find it annoying?
Well, it was basically just a hitch to the boundary. We were in empty. I don't know why he loves that play so much. I just felt the push of the will to the front side and threw the hitch to the boundary, but he just loves that play and brings it up every couple of weeks. I think it's funny.
Did you ever figure out? Did he explain to you why he loves it?
Well, we didn't really talk about that route in the read, and we had run that play a couple times earlier, and we hit the slant to the field, and then I think it was the third time that we ran it. I ended up hitting that hitch because I felt the push front side, and they obviously went and talked about it on the sideline. But that's one of his favorites.
Which game was that?
That was against the Browns.
You mentioned your comfort and your confidence in moving in the pocket. What about the opposite? It seemed like against Denver that there were times the pocket was collapsing and you didn't get out and escape. You stood in there till the last second. Do you feel more confident standing in there and have a better feel in the pocket?
I think when you're trying to decide whether you need to move and escape the pocket or you need to stand in and make the throw, you got to determine the situation of the game and determine the coverage and the route that you have. If you have a route that is about to come open, you want to sit in there and take the hit and make the throw. And a lot of times that's third down. That's, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8, where, you have the right play against the right defense. It's just a longer developing play that you're going to have to sit in and take a hit. And other times, you know the play that you have and the coverage that's being played, and you're not going to really have anything, and they're going to be able to cover the route concept that you have based on the coverage that they're playing. And so then you can, slide in the pocket and escape, quicker than if you think that you have a route that's going to come open. So I think it just whatever determines that is the situation.
One more question.
Joe, with all the reps that you've accumulated, how much faster are you processing information? And how much more are you seeing? How much faster you're processing? Mentally, where are you in terms of in your early stages of your career?
Yeah, light years from last year. Obviously, last year you see a lot of new things that you haven't really seen before, and you also, as a rookie, teams throw more at you to see if you can handle it. This year, a lot of those blitz looks and coverage looks, we proved early in the year that we can handle it, and we're going to get the ball out quickly and make teams pay. And we haven't seen as many of those looks later in the season, but with Baltimore, you always got to be ready for that.
All right, Joe, thanks for your time. We'll let you go.
Thanks, Joe.